This segment is about the construction of solid sole rakers. Typically, we're going to build them as either 45-degree solid sole rakers or 60-degree solid sole rakers. If we're building on soil and not a surface like concrete or asphalt, typically we're going to choose the 60-degree rake because it has maximal height with minimal horizontal force application. For today's application, we're going to do solid sole 45-degree raker and also discuss the variables for the 60-degree raker. The first thing you need to determine when constructing these is what your insertion point is going to be. The insertion point is the level of height or the point at which you want your raker to contact your wall plate. That area needs to be at or below 2 feet within that window of your flooring system and where it ties into the wall. So insertion point typically is going to be somewhere around the 8-foot to 10-foot mark with most commercial structures. So for this raker that we're going to build today, we're going to go with an 8-foot insertion point. Once you have that insertion point established, if you're building a 45-degree raker, you have a 12-12 rise, run, or pitch. So if we're inserting at 8 foot on the wall, we know that we're going to have a collection point that is roughly 8 feet on the sole plate. If we're building the 60-degree raker, then we have a 12-7 pitch. So for every 12 inches of rise to equal that 8-foot insertion point, we're only going to have 7 inches of run for our collection point on the sole plate. Once you have those calculations established, you can use two coefficients that are in the FOG manual. One of them is 14 and one of them is 17. The 17 coefficient applies to 45-degree rakers and the 14 applies to 60-degree rakers. So to use that in a calculation method, you're going to take your insertion point of 8 feet. For a 45-degree raker, we would multiply that 8 times 17, giving us a total of 136 inches, or 11 foot 3 inches. That is the length of our raker. Another thing that is a good indication for us that we can be aware of before we even start fabricating is some of the determining factors or the cutoffs with raker design. So if a raker itself is greater than 11 feet in length, we know that we're going to need midpoint bracing. With an 8-foot insertion point, you're going to be at 11 foot 3 inches, so we can already start pre-planning for that midpoint bracing and establishing that.